You have to get over not being able to see your desire right now, because this reality that you're not looking at, we call it the what is, because it's the old reality. Your real reality is in that vibration. It's that vibrational reality. That's where all of your desires are. It's all in that vibrational reality, and you have to find a way to turn those vibrations into thoughts, and then those thoughts into impulses that you can then act on, that become actions, and then you get led right to the manifestations. That's what it's all about. That's what you have to. That is your work. What you want is so real, and the way that we know about the vibrational reality is because all you need is a desire. Once you desire it, once life calls the desire forth from you, once the desire is summoned through due to seeing something you don't want, and you know now what you do want, now the vortex is done. Your work is complete. That's what's so interesting, that your work is complete. But yet that is such hard work, because you have to disconnect from your source to look at the absence of what you want, and then you have to basically find your way back to source, which is really interesting, because that's what your inner being is. That's what your inner being promised you, because your source energy. And when you left the source energy, when you left this non-physical energy to come into this body, it was for the thrill of expansion. It was for the thrill of everything. You were here for the rule of a lifetime. And so your inner being says, don't worry, you go off into being physical, we'll live through you. That's what our emotions are about. But while you're there in the physical, whatever the physical reality, whatever it makes you want, whatever this contrast calls forth from you, we will not only stand with, we will literally become the vibrational equivalent of it. So your inner being becomes like this placeholder, and now you have guidance. Now another point of relativity has been established between your point of relativity, your vibration right now, your vibration, which is pretty much evident to you by how you feel, your mood, what is coming to you, and your inner being's vibration, your inner being's point of attraction. That law of attraction is also, responding to. So that's interesting, because that means that your inner being is the equivalent of everything that you want, and your inner being literally has everything that you want. And not only does it have it all for you, the second that you wanted it, your inner being began the summoning process. The law of attraction began the summoning process, and your inner being doesn't have doubt. So since your inner being doesn't have doubt, since your inner being doesn't doubt that what you want can happen, because your inner being is not here looking at the reality where what you want isn't here yet. Your inner being doesn't look at this old steel reality. Your inner being is gone. Your inner being dipped into the next segment, into the vibrational reality. And since your inner being is there, your inner being has no reason to doubt. Your inner being is sure. Your inner being knows, because your inner being is pure positive energy. Your inner being was also in on the creation of this whole entire planet. Your inner being is part of the energy that keeps the sun up and going down. Your inner being is part of that. So your inner being does not doubt, because your inner being has been on the creation of worlds. You're tuned into that energy, and you are source energy. And it's so interesting, because this is a message for someone, but source energy is literally interested in what you're eating for breakfast. Source energy is interested in what you're doing right now. Source energy is not off somewhere else, and you're not trying to get back there. It's not about establishing your connection. It's realizing that there are things that you do that stop this connection. And so that's the thing. You're doing things that literally thwart your connection, thwart your ability to see your desire. Because what we're saying is that your desires exist. And do you know the number one reason why your desire is not here right now? It's because you see it as absent. That's really it. It's because you don't see it right now. You keep telling people, you talk with your friends, you're like, guys, it's absent, I'm telling you right now, and they all agree with you. They're like, you're right, it's absent. It's absent for us too. There must be something evil. Someone must be doing something to us. It must not be our fault. It must be the government's fault. And we're like, it's because you were choosing a vibration. You're from this buffet of vibrations, from this buffet of what you call your physical reality. You're choosing something that does not taste good, because you think there's value in it. You think there's valor and respectability, and that's what people get at words for. So you're like, let me just eat this thing, let me eat this broken glass and smile. Because when we talk about unconditional alignment, that's what it sounds like. It sounds like you just have to take the broken glass on your plate and eat it. But we're like, no, that's not what this is about. This is not about turning something you don't like into something that you do like. That's not what it is. It's not about eating something you like and forcing yourself to smile, because your law of attraction doesn't hear what you're saying. Anyways, law of attraction is hearing what you're feeling. That's what we say, like, the unconditional approach really is about feeling the emotion no matter what is in front of you. And it's not because you're trying to change anything, because now you're becoming conditional again. You're actually trying to just enjoy the feeling right now, because that's the reason. That's the feeling. How you feel is literally life itself, because it is life itself. Your life is built up, and it is all these moments. It's a string of moments. And do you know that the whole reason why you came was literally just to have fun, to mess it up, mix it up, and enjoy your life, because you have big desire. You do have big desire, and we're trying to help you, and we're trying to teach you how to keep up with that desire. Because when you're in the midst of all this resistance, that's the last time you want to think about your desire. That's the time where you want to either go to sleep or do any triage, do anything that you can do to get back to your source, because your source is this point of relativity. It does exist. That's what negative emotion literally means. Negative emotion means that you have literally crossed your energy. That means you have stopped the flow of energy. That's what negative emotion. Well, you could be think. This is the thing. When you wake up from sleep, and you're in the high flying place, you look at, everyone wakes up in the vortex, and then they start talking about what happened yesterday. They start talking about the problems of everything, of their life, of the world, and then it's negative emotion. It literally feels like a block. It feels like you're blocking the energy, because that's literally what it's all about. It's about blocking energy. And so we're saying, let it go. We're like, from our perspective, we're like, why would you ever think in opposition to what you want? And you know why? And this is the number one thing that stops you, because you don't have your desire right now. It's absent. It's physically absent. But we're saying it is physically absent, but it's vibrationally absent. Your desires exist because they exist vibrationally. And we're not gonna sit here and say that you can want something, but you can't have it right away at the same time. You can have it physically, because that's not true. That's inaccurate. Because you know what it is? A better way of saying that is that the asking mode and the receiving mode are two different things. The problem and the solution are on two different frequencies. That's the thing, that they're on two different frequencies. So you can't be on one frequency and expect another frequency. Like with your radio, it's literally like your it's like, imagine your radio channel. You can't be on 93.5 and expect to hear what's on 96.5. You have to tune to it. And as you're literally tuning the radio stations, what you hear on the radio is so interesting, because that's what we're talking about, the manifestation. You tune to that radio because it's all frequencies. You tune to that radio channel, and what's on that radio channel in this real world, this tactile world, and we're talking about physics here. The first thing that you get is an emotional manifestation. It's how it feels. It's how the idea feels. So that means that because here's the thing, all you have to do is feel good about your desire. That's your work. Your job is not, you don't even have to convince yourself. Your job is just to hold a thought and make yourself feel good about the desire. And the way that's the easiest, especially with all of these results that you have, with all of the comparisons that you're able to make that are always inaccurate, is just to go unconditional. It's to talk about the emotion, to talk about why you want it, because you go into the back door. You get the easiest way, because you're not talking about things that give you resistance. You're not talking about things that stop you. Because the only thing that stops you from not being able to see your desire is your inability to see it. You keep saying, I can't see it. This is not working for me. Because you have proof. But we're like, but you have to leave reality alone. You have to leave reality in the box where it belongs, which is inactive. It doesn't matter anymore. It's about this new reality. And so we want you to keep up with your desire. Do you know when you keep up with the desire? That's literally life itself. That's how good life feels. Life feels so good. Because we know all you have to do is feel good. And here's the thing, you have a lot of proof about your manifestation. You have the emotional manifestation. And that emotional manifestation, if you nurture it right, if you hold on to it, if you don't contradict it, if you're like, yeah, well, I don't have the physical version, but I have the emotional version, so it doesn't feel absent. It's physically absent, but it doesn't feel absent. I don't feel the despair or the frustration of it being absent, because I have the feeling of what it would be like to have it. I have the ease, the clarity of it. Then you're making peace with the absence, and you're going into the vortex. Your receiving one is getting stronger, and you have to start getting ideas. That's the thing, is that the ideas not only start coming, but you know that the ideas are not yours. You did not come up with those ideas. They start flowing into your consciousness. They start flowing into your mind, and it's from your broader perspective. It's from your source energy, and that's what we're talking about here. We're talking about tuning into source, because source will tell you what to do, because you have this guidance system. And the thing about your guidance system, this is interesting. The thing about your guidance system is that it will always show you, and it always leads you back to the vortex. Because that's who you are. You are meant to be in the vortex. You're meant to be high flying. Look at the kids. The kids know it's about playing now, it's fun now, and the fun later, and the fun now, and fun later, and later, and later. They're hopping from one activity to the other. They're playing with their dolls. They're playing house. They're doing things that are fun because they understand life. It's not about getting stars on the chart. It's not about making something of your life. It's not about doing something that's meaningful. It's not about anything serious. Life is as serious as what will occupy me now, what will feel good as I do it right now, what activity. But you're also serious, and it's really truly because you know why. And there's you're not really like, you're focused. That's how we're gonna say it. You're focused, and we like focus. We like determination. We like grit. But we want your grit to be about vibration. We want your grit to be about refusing to feel bad anymore because it just doesn't help you. Feeling bad doesn't help you. But yes, it is good because it helps you launch more desires. But you do not need to launch any more desires. You don't need to launch anymore. You have enough desires brewing, and now it's time for you to receive. And we're all in the spirit of receiving. So yes, the only thing that stops you from being able to receive your desires, we're gonna say it again, is because you can't see it, because you keep saying it's absent. But now you understand it's not absent. And you know why you know it's not absent? Because you have the vibrational version of it. I have the emotion of it. When I think about this desire, it feels good. And I know from the laws of physics, I know from what happens when you push a car down the hill, I understand from physics, I know that this emotional manifestation is going to grow. So while yes, this physical reality doesn't show my desire yet, it's, you know what it is? It's temporary. It doesn't matter. It's going to happen. And the timing of it, I don't know. I don't know about the details, but I know how it feels. I know I want it. I feel it. So it has to happen. It has to come. And you know what happens? Your manifestation does come, but all the way that you're on your way towards your manifestation, you're still not there. You're still not at the most manifested form of your desire. You're not there yet. But your tendency to freak out is what slows you down. But the less we're telling you, the less that you can freak out, because now you understand what your guidance system is telling you. Now you understand, hey, I feel good about this desire. So now while I'm on my journey to the manifestation, I'm not gonna be pressed. I'm not gonna freak out, because I know that this emotional manifestation means something. I have the vibrational version of it. And you know what's crazy? The vibrational version is enough. It is enough because it's about feeling. When we talk about vibrations, we're talking about feeling. And everything that you want is for the feeling anyways. And as you get the cart before the horse, instead of, because everyone is saying, give me the manifestation first and then I'll have the feeling in response to the condition that's changed, aka the manifestation. But we're saying it's the other way around. That's how you not really like, it's not like finessing law of attraction. It's not even tricking. It's just using, this is what deliberate creation is about. It's about using your advantage of the law of attraction to your advantage. It's about it's like science. That's where the science part comes in. It's like knowing the formula. Then the formula goes like this. You want to feel the way that you would feel if your desire was here. And the way that you feel how it would feel is you talk about it in simple terms. You talk about the clarity of it. You talk about the ease. Think that for a second. Doesn't ease feel so good? Don't you feel clarity? Doesn't clarity feel so good? Clarity feels like openness. It feels like sureness. Doesn't sureness feel like confidence? Doesn't it feel like solid? Doesn't it just feel like sure? Doesn't it feel like fun? Doesn't ease just feel so good and flow? Doesn't flow and bliss feel so fun? Doesn't joy feel, and doesn't passion feel so fun? Doesn't passion feel so amazing? Passion just feels like interest. Passion feels like life force. Passion feels like one thing to the next. Passion feels like movement. Passion feels like evidence of who I am. Passion feels like energy. Passion feels like interest. It feels like so much fun. It feels like time is flying by, but I don't notice it because I'm having so much fun. Time feels so easy. Fun feels so fun. I love having fun. You see how this conversation, we're not solving anything. We're not talking about where it's coming from. We're not talking about how anything is going to happen. We're setting up the vibrational field, and now in this vibrational field, the desires can grow. You're literally creating a vibrational nucleus. Not only are you creating the vibrational nucleus, but you're also feeling good. You're feeling good. Do you understand that? You're feeling good in the process, and we're saying that's the reason why you want everything. But you just had that feeling. So does that mean that you're over the manifestation? And in a way, for this moment, yes, because what you're saying is to law of attraction. You're saying, I don't need this physical reality. I don't need this manifestation, this condition to change in order for me to feel good. That's what unconditional alignment is about. I can feel good, not no matter what, but I can feel good because I know how to focus my mind. I can focus my mind into feeling good. I can feel good because I want to. And that's really the greatest gift of all. That's real richness. That's true richness. And true genius, for the genius, you're all geniuses, but the true genius is finding one thought about a subject that feels good and just milking it and just thinking that thought. And as you hold that thought and you kind of ignore reality, but instead of thinking of it as ignoring reality, because yes, it is ignoring reality, but in ignoring your reality, what are you giving your attention to? This vibrational reality, how you feel, the clarity. You're like, yeah, I'm not rich, but I have clarity. And you know what's expensive about clarity is that you can't go to the store and buy it. I have something that no one has. I have clarity, and I have so much of it. I'm so clear. It's so easy for me. It's so easy for me to understand all this. It's so easy for me to understand my space and listen who I am, and it's simple. See, those are the rampages that you want to go on, because we're not. It's like, you know what it is? It's like, we're not here to teach you that, like, it's like, imagine like you're a parent and your kid keeps falling down, so you're like you grab him by the neck, and you're like, you know what, we're never gonna let you walk ever again, because if you keep falling, we don't like it, so you're just never gonna walk ever again. We're not saying that. We're saying you could walk and you could fall down, but now you're more likely to not fall down anymore. You're more likely to find your footing a lot easily. You're more likely to be, of course, because you're gonna still have contrast, because you still have these remnants of things that are petering out. They're making their way out. And so while you're in these situations, you're going to find your footing, you're going to find your unconditional alignment so much better. And literally, all you need is 17 seconds to start new momentum. You're literally starting a new life as a result of this conversation, because we're tuning your frequency. This is a great meeting of the minds, and it truly is the greatest joy of all. It's coming together to talk about a similar topic, because the synergy and the energy and just how it feels is so rich. And of course, we're taking the world notorious onto different platforms, because it's fun. It's just fun. That's it. It's just fun. Isn't it just so fun to be reminded, and not only reminded, but to feel the resonance of Source? Because that's the thing. Source is here right now with you. We're all Source energy. But the thing is, Source energy is not as complicated, because you're big kids, and when you're big kids, you're more interested in the complexity or the sophistication of a thought. But the little kids get it. That's why there's such good examples and such clear vessels and channels for Source energy, because they understand that it's not about the complexity or the sophistication of a thought, or even how productive it is. It's about how good it feels. And sometimes what feels good is not really about what is the most productive. It's about the piece that just makes you feel good. Like, think about how good it feels to think about ease and flow and clarity and fun. And while that isn't productive yet, because you can't see the results yet, it's productive because you've shifted your emotions, you feel different. And as you feel different, now you've set your vibrational tuner, you've shifted your point of attraction. And as you shift your point of attraction, now law of attraction is responding to you in a way where now you're going to see different evidence. And at first, you're only going to have emotional evidence, and then the physical evidence is going to come. It's going to come. But the emotional evidence, we're trying to get you hooked on the emotional evidence, because once you get hooked on the emotional evidence, then you can get over not being able to see your desire. You're like, well, it doesn't matter. I can't see my desire because I have the feeling. Because you do want to know something. You're always going to be in a spot where you can't see the new desire that life just helped you launch. We're going to say that again. Whenever you want something, the second that you decide that you want it, it's always unfamiliar. You have to make yourself familiar with it, because you're so familiar with with the absence of it. You're not familiar with the other side of the stick. You're more familiar with the absence. So as you mold the clay of your thoughts, as you think your thoughts in direction to how it feels, as you do processes, and as you enjoy, literally thinking about your desire and molding it and enjoying the process, because you're never going to outrun the process. You're a deliberate creator, and we understand who you are. We feel you. We resonate with you. We're feeling you through the ethers. We understand that we're all here for the joy of creation, but also we're here to create everything. We're here to create the things that life has caused us to come to really want, and we're going to enjoy all the things. And for a lot of people, they're probably just gonna have to reemerge back into the non-physical. They're gonna have to have their death experience before they really get to reap the benefits of whatever this life has caused them to become. But you're not like that. You're all different. You are different because you understand, you feel the resonance of Source. And as you not really work, but as you feel that resonance more, and you get almost addicted to that feeling, and you really become so stable in that feeling to the point where your main goal now is to find that feeling, and then all the manifestations come after, then you're rocking and you're rolling in a way that's not only unprecedented, but you're an influencer to all around you.